Have you noticed how, after turning 60, your mornings feel heavier, your nights shorter, and intimacy more distant than it once was? Many men quietly accept this decline, telling themselves it's just aging. But here's the surprising truth. What feels like a slow fading of strength, energy, and desire may actually come down to something much simpler, something your body has been silently missing all along. Now, before you roll your eyes at another miracle cure, let me share this. I'm not talking about another pill, a harsh medication, or an exhausting routine. What I'm about to reveal is a small, almost effortless nightly habit that can help you wake up refreshed, sleep deeper, and even restore the confidence you thought was gone for good. When I first discovered this approach, I was skeptical too. But after listening to countless men share the same frustration, tired mornings, restless nights, and fading intimacy, I realized the pattern was too strong to ignore. And when the solution was applied correctly, the transformation wasn't just physical, it was emotional. Men walked taller, smiled more, and reconnected with life in ways they thought they'd lost forever. So, in today's story, we're going to walk through why this one simple nutrient, taken at the right time, can become the key to restoring your vitality. We'll explore the science behind it, the timeline of real changes you can expect, and the everyday bedtime habits that can make the results even stronger. Think of this as less of a medical lecture and more of a roadmap back to yourself. Because what's waiting on the other side isn't just firmer energy or deeper sleep, it's the return of that spark that makes life worth living.
Section 1. Why timing matters more than you think. Now, here's the part that surprises most men. It's not that they're lacking effort. It's not even that their bodies have given up. The real problem? Timing. Think about it. Most people swallow their vitamins in the morning, maybe with coffee or breakfast, and never give it another thought. It feels logical. Start the day with nutrients, right? But here's the hidden twist. Your body isn't in repair mode during the morning. It's in survival mode. Stress hormones are highest, your nervous system is on alert, and every cell in your body is bracing to push you through the day. And what happens to that vitamin you took with your toast and coffee? It gets digested, scattered, and honestly, underused. Like pouring water onto dry sand, it disappears without nourishing the roots. At night, though, that's where the magic happens. When you sleep, your body shifts gears. Hormones rise, blood vessels repair, testosterone rebuilds, and the quiet, behind-the-scenes restoration you never see takes place. That's when the right nutrient becomes a catalyst. Instead of being wasted, it fuels the very systems that keep you strong, vibrant, and, yes, capable of intimacy. I remember one man telling me, "Doc, I never realized that something so small, just changing when I take my vitamin, could make me feel like my body finally listened to me again." And here's where the story begins. One simple nutrient, taken at night, in harmony with your body's natural rhythm, can be the spark that reignites energy, sharper mornings, and deeper rest. Section 2. The one nutrient hiding in plain sight. So what is this mysterious nutrient that can transform your nights and reshape your mornings? It's not some exotic herb, it's not a brand new wonder drug, it's actually something you've already heard of. Vitamin D3. Yes, the so-called sunshine vitamin. The one most people assume they're getting enough of simply by spending a little time outdoors. But here's the reality. By the time most men reach their 60s, their D3 levels have dropped dangerously low. Not because they've done something wrong, but because life changes. Think about it. You're not outside in the sunlight all day anymore. Your skin isn't as efficient at absorbing UV rays, and for many, doctors have even warned against sun exposure to protect skin health. Add to that the simple fact that modern lifestyles keep us indoors more than ever, and the result is a quiet deficiency that chips away at energy, sleep, and performance without us realizing it. But here's the kicker. Even the men who do take vitamin D3 often take it at the wrong time, early morning with their coffee. And as we just uncovered, that's when your body can't truly put it to work. When taken at night, though, something different happens. D3 acts like a signal, whispering to your body to boost testosterone production while you sleep, to support melatonin so you can slip into deeper rest, and to ramp up nitric oxide, the key molecule that ensures blood flows smoothly and firmly where it needs to go. I like to think of it as giving your body permission to do what it was designed to do all along. No forcing, no artificial shortcuts, just aligning with nature's rhythm. And if that sounds too simple to be true, let me share the story of one man whose experience made even me step back and realize how powerful this really is.
Section 3. George's story. From quiet frustration to quiet confidence. Let me introduce you to George. He was 68, a retired contractor, the kind of man who had spent a lifetime building homes with his hands. Strong, dependable, the guy who never complained, even when life was tough. But when he came to see me, his body language told a different story. He sat down slowly, avoided eye contact at first, and after a long pause he admitted, almost in a whisper, "Doc, I don't feel like a man anymore." Those words carried the weight of years of frustration. His health, on paper, looked decent. His heart was strong, his weight stable, and his blood sugar under control. Yet his reality was very different. He was exhausted most of the day, his sleep was broken into restless chunks, and intimacy with his wife had all but vanished. He told me it had been more than a year since he'd felt connected to her, not just physically, but emotionally too. When we ran his labs, the answer was crystal clear. His vitamin D3 levels were dangerously low. Instead of rushing to prescriptions or hormone therapy, I asked him to do something simple. Take 2,000 IU of vitamin D3 every night before bed and stick with it for 30 days. Nothing fancy, no promises of overnight miracles, just consistency. Here's what happened. Week 1, George noticed his sleep started to deepen. He wasn't waking up every few hours anymore. Week 2, his mornings felt lighter. He had enough energy to take walks again, something he hadn't done in months. Week 3, his voice changed. His eyes looked brighter, and then he said it. "Doc, I woke up hard this morning, and it wasn't a fluke." For George, that wasn't just about performance. It was about identity. He walked taller. He smiled more. His wife noticed the difference, not just in the bedroom, but in how he carried himself, how he re-engaged with life. And all of it began with one small act of self-respect each night. One vitamin, one shift in timing. Now, George's story isn't rare. It's far more common than you'd imagine. And it highlights something most men overlook: the deeper reason why vitamin D3 works so well, especially at night. Section 4. Why most men are deficient without realizing it. George's story might sound dramatic, but here's the truth. It's not unusual at all. In fact, most men over 60 are quietly running on empty when it comes to vitamin D3. And the tricky part, they don't even know it. Think about how life changes as we age. In our younger years, we spend more time outdoors, working, walking, being active under the sun. Our skin absorbs sunlight efficiently, and our bodies naturally convert that light into vitamin D3. But by the time we hit our 60s, several things shift. We spend far more time indoors, our skin loses efficiency in producing vitamin D3 from sunlight, and doctors and dermatologists often warn us to limit sun exposure to protect our skin, which makes sense, but it further reduces our natural vitamin levels.
Add those factors together, and what you get is a deficiency that sneaks up slowly. You don't notice it in one day or even 1 month. It's a gradual drain. At first, you feel a little more tired. Then, your sleep isn't as refreshing. Soon, your energy dips earlier in the day, and intimacy starts to feel like effort instead of desire. And here's the heartbreaking part. Most men blame it on just getting older. They assume their body is simply winding down. They never stop to ask, could something be missing? Even men who do take supplements make one critical mistake. They take vitamin D3 in the morning. And as we already uncovered, that's the wrong time. In the morning, your body is on high alert with cortisol levels peaking, ready for the stress of the day, not for repair. By the time night rolls around, when your body is finally ready to heal, the vitamin is long gone. But when you take vitamin D3 at night, it's a different story. Your body is in repair mode. Hormones are being rebuilt. Blood vessels are restoring themselves. Testosterone production is active. That's when vitamin D3 becomes more than just a nutrient. It becomes a spark for transformation. This is why so many men who finally make the switch just by changing the timing see dramatic results. They don't just feel a little better, they feel like themselves again. And the beauty of it, these changes can start sooner than you think. In fact, the timeline of what happens over just 30 nights is both fascinating and inspiring.
Section 5. The 30-day timeline of change. Here's the part that excites most men. Change doesn't take years. When your body finally receives what it has been craving, it responds quickly, sometimes almost immediately. And while every man's journey is unique, the timeline tends to follow a clear rhythm. Night 1, the quiet beginning. On the very first night, something subtle starts to happen. As vitamin D3 enters your system during sleep, it quietly supports melatonin, the hormone that helps you fall asleep faster and stay asleep longer. You might not notice it right away, but behind the scenes, your body is already preparing a deeper, more restorative rest cycle. By day 7, lighter mornings. Within a week, many men notice mornings feel less heavy. That dragging, half-awake sensation starts to fade. Instead of stumbling to the coffee maker, you find yourself waking with more clarity, even carrying that energy into the afternoon. One man told me, "It's the first time I've gotten through a whole day without crashing for a nap in months." By day 14, subtle sparks return. By the 2-week mark, the changes start to feel more physical. Mood lifts. Restless nights turn into consistent, restorative sleep. For some, mild morning erections begin to return, little reminders of how the body once worked naturally. And it's not just physical. Emotionally, men report feeling more present and less weighed down by fatigue. By day 21, confidence reawakens. Around the 3rd week, something shifts. Circulation improves. Energy flows more smoothly. The body responds more easily to intimacy. And perhaps most importantly, confidence returns, not just in the bedroom, but in posture, voice, and presence. One patient said it best, "I feel like I've come back online." By day 30, a reset, not just a result. After a full month, the difference is undeniable. Many men look in the mirror and say, "I feel like myself again." The fatigue, the disconnection, the doubts, they start to fade into memory. And this isn't about a miracle. It's about biology finally being given the right support at the right time. But here's the best part. Vitamin D3 isn't working alone. There are simple bedtime habits that act like amplifiers, making its effects stronger, faster, and longer lasting. Section 6, the bedtime boost. Small habits, big results. Now, here's something I've learned after years of listening to men's experiences. Even the most powerful nutrient can only do so much if your habits are working against it. Think of vitamin D3 as a key. It unlocks the door to repair and restoration. But if the lock is jammed with bad habits, the door never opens fully. The good news? The habits that clear the way are simple, practical, and surprisingly effective. 1. Shut down the screens. One of the biggest culprits of poor sleep is staring at glowing screens, phones, tablets, TVs, right up until bedtime. That blue light tricks your brain into thinking it's still daytime, suppressing melatonin, the very hormone vitamin D3 is trying to support. When men commit to shutting off screens at least 30 minutes before bed, the difference can be dramatic. One patient told me, "Doc, it felt like wrapping myself in a blanket I hadn't felt in years." 2. Keep a consistent sleep rhythm. Your body loves rhythm. Going to bed and waking up at the same time every day trains your system to trust the cycle. And when the cycle is stable, everything improves. Hormones, blood pressure, energy, even mood. I remember a 74-year-old man who, after just 2 weeks of sticking to a regular sleep schedule, told me, "I feel like I got 10 years back in my legs." 3. Hydrate smartly. Here's a mistake many men make. They cut off water too early in the day, afraid of waking up at night. But that leaves circulation sluggish and blood vessels less flexible. The trick is to hydrate well during the day, then taper off in the evening. This way, your body absorbs nutrients efficiently and repairs itself more smoothly while you sleep. 4. Pair vitamin D3 with a healthy fat. D3 is fat-soluble, which means it's absorbed best when taken with a little healthy fat, like a spoon of almond butter, a handful of walnuts, or a slice of avocado. This simple step helps your body put every milligram of that vitamin to work. These bedtime rituals might sound small, but together they act like amplifiers. They turn vitamin D3's quiet support into a symphony of repair. And the results aren't just physical, they're emotional too. Men don't just sleep better, they show up for life with more energy, more patience, and more connection. Still, even with these habits, one question lingers in the minds of many men. Am I too old for this to really work? It's a question I've heard more times than I can count, and the answer might surprise you.
Section 7. Am I too old? The answer every man needs to hear. This is the question I hear most often, spoken in different words, but always carrying the same quiet ache. "Doc, I'm not 40 anymore. Maybe my time has passed. Is it too late for me?" I understand that fear. Because when you've tried different pills, treatments, or diets that promise the world but delivered nothing, it's easy to start believing that your body just doesn't have it in it anymore. But here's what I've learned after decades of working with men in their 60s, 70s, even 80s. Your body never forgets how to heal. I've had men well into their 70s come to me feeling broken, convinced their best days were behind them. Some hadn't had a full night's sleep in years. Some hadn't woken up with an erection in over a decade. And yet, when we made the simplest shift, just one vitamin at night, paired with a couple of bedtime habits, something remarkable happened. Within weeks, they called back with trembling voices. "Doc, I woke up this morning like I was 25 again." And here's the important truth. This isn't about forcing your body to do something unnatural. It's not about synthetic shortcuts. It's about supporting your body at the exact time when it's most ready to repair itself. Testosterone, nitric oxide, growth hormone, circulation, all of these natural processes still work even later in life. They just need the right environment to flourish. So, to every man asking, "Is it too late for me?" the answer is simple. No, it's not too late. You're not broken. You're not past your prime. You've simply been under-supported. And once you give your body the right tools, it can come roaring back to life, no matter what the calendar says. Now that we've answered the fear, let's make sure you know exactly how to take this vitamin the right way, because not all supplements are created equal, and one small mistake can ruin the results.
Section 8. The right vitamin, the right way. By now, you've seen how powerful vitamin D3 can be when taken at the right time. But here's something I need to emphasize. Not all vitamin D is created equal, and I've seen too many men waste months on the wrong kind, only to walk away thinking it didn't work. So let's make sure you don't fall into that trap. Number 1, choose vitamin D3, not plain D. This may sound like a tiny detail, but it's a game changer. Vitamin D comes in different forms, and only D3 is the active one your body can actually use efficiently. Plain D, or D2, which is often what's in cheaper supplements, requires your body to convert it, and after 60, your system isn't great at doing that anymore. Go straight for D3, and you give your body exactly what it needs. Number 2. Pair it with vitamin K2. Here's the part many men miss. D3 helps your body absorb calcium, but without K2, that calcium can end up in the wrong places, like arteries, which isn't good for heart health. K2 acts like a traffic director, guiding calcium to your bones, where it strengthens them, and keeping your blood vessels flexible for healthy circulation. In other words, K2 makes D3 safer and far more effective. Number 3, get the dosage right. For most men over 60, somewhere between 2,000 and 5,000 IU daily is both safe and effective. Think of it as a steady, consistent stream rather than a one-time flood. You don't need mega doses, you need reliability. Number 4, timing is the secret sauce. This part you already know. Take it before bed. That's when your body is primed for repair. To boost absorption, pair it with a little healthy fat, a spoonful of almond butter, a handful of walnuts, or a slice of avocado. This ensures your body soaks it up and puts it to work while you rest. Number 5, consistency over hype. This is the one that separates success from disappointment. Don't skip nights. Don't expect fireworks after one dose. The real transformation comes from showing up for yourself every evening. Like brushing your teeth, it only works if you do it daily. When you bring all these details together, D3, K2, the right dosage, timing, and habits, you set the stage for something bigger than just better sleep or firmer energy. You create a nightly ritual of self-respect that compounds over time, restoring confidence, intimacy, and vitality. And that brings us to the final thought I want to leave with you, a perspective that turns this entire process into more than just a health hack. It becomes a reset button for life after 60.
Final section. Your reset begins tonight. So here we are. We've talked about fatigue, broken sleep, fading intimacy, all the quiet struggles that men over 60 often carry alone. We've seen how one overlooked nutrient, vitamin D3, when taken at the right time and in the right way, can restore balance, rebuild confidence, and remind you of who you truly are. But let's be clear, this isn't about chasing youth or pretending you're 25 again. It's about honoring the body you have now and giving it the support it deserves. Age is not the enemy, neglect is. When you take that small step each night, D3 with K2, a consistent bedtime, shutting down the screens, you're doing more than just fueling your biology. You're telling your body, I'm still here, I still care, I still expect to wake up with energy, clarity, and desire. And the body listens. I've watched men in their 60s, 70s, even 80s come back to life, not through complicated treatments, but through one simple ritual, repeated night after night. They didn't just reclaim harder erections or deeper sleep, they reclaimed presence. They laughed more with their partners. They had energy for morning walks. They carried themselves with quiet strength again. And that's the bigger lesson. Transformation doesn't always come from doing more. Sometimes it comes from doing less, but doing it right. One vitamin, one habit, one decision, repeated with consistency. So tonight, when you stand at your bedside, ask yourself, what if this is the night everything starts to shift? What if this is the first step toward waking up tomorrow feeling like myself again? The answer isn't far away. It's sitting right there in your hand. One small capsule, one small choice. Your reset doesn't begin in the gym, in a clinic, or in a bottle of pills. It begins tonight, before bed.